Ascended Master Kuthumi was the first person who explained to me that the earth is going to have a split, and he was explaining it to me as cell mitosis, that when the cell is dying, it parts. And he was explaining it to me scientifically, like how a cell goes through mitosis, that was what was going to happen with the earth and the timelines. So you have this little moon going around, and then you have the solar eclipse, and also solar 25, cycle solar 25 at its peak. So you have all of these energies happening, which is creating a portal for the next time shift. It's very important for people to stay away from looking at the news. If you want to create your timeline, then your focus, whatever you focus on, that's going to be your timeline, especially now because the creative force is at a very strong peak with the solar 25. But the more inner alchemy you do and inner healing, the higher your perspective is, and you're able to see the others. And so each channeler and everyone is on a different level. And so it's all going to happen, and their truth is just so real to them that they think it's going to happen. Yes, it is going to happen in their world, in their timeline. And also, like I said, you can manifest inner alchemy. You can bring the solar flash to happen faster in your timeline, speed up your timeline. Your spirit guides, you have to ask them, what can I do to heal this? What must I master? What can I do to speed up my timeline? You have to ask them, because they won't give you any freebies.
So essentially, we all are going to have different realities based on the dimensions that we are on and based on the work that we do in this ascension, is my understanding from this now.
And we're...
Hi, this is Akanksshaa. If you're new here, please subscribe to my channel. If you resonate with me, please like, comment, and share. Welcome to Multidimensional Soul Podcast and a Talk Show. On this show, we talk about deep spiritual and mystical experiences of people which we normally shy away talking about. We are more than our physical body. We are spiritual beings on a human journey. And we discuss how a soul exists on multiple dimensions. We discuss science, technology, and spirituality point of views and perspectives on this show. Our purpose is to open our minds to limitless possibilities and our hearts to love and shine the light within bright. Our guest today is Cyndi Molano. Cyndi is a certified astrologer, spiritual coach, and angel channeler. Her expertise is zodiac sign angels and angels of the day. She works on angel magic education and benevolently improving your life with connecting with hundreds of benevolent beings. She's a singer, she's an artist, and she paints angel art. Cyndi and I had a very different conversation. Cyndi and I talked about her Catholic upbringing and the difficulties and challenges she faced as a child, how she was miraculously then guided to a book, and she got trained by Master Kuthumi in his etheric school. She had a very, very massive Chakra and Kundalini awakening and activation, and she was kind of destabilized because of that, because her nervous system was not exactly ready for that at that time. So she shared all those experiences, how Master Kuthumi and Archangel Michael held her hand throughout this and helped her stabilize that energy and that activation and integrate it in her physical body. So she talked about all those experiences which were very, very miraculous and very extraordinary. And she calls Archangel Michael as Michael. So you will find in this episode that she calls him as Michael. and she talked about her astral travel, her travel on Pleiadean UFOs, and how she works with angels and ascended masters. We talked about Ascension and multidimensional existence. And she has actually an urgent message for all of you and the entire humanity, because we discussed in depth how the timeline split and the multiverse, and what can you do to ascend with the help of this knowledge. This is an urgent message, so watch till the end, stay tuned till the end. We have with us today Cyndi Molano, all the way from Austria. A very warm welcome, Cyndi, on Multidimensional Soul Talk Show and a podcast. Lovely to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited.
Can you tell us a little bit about your spiritual journey? How did you start it from your childhood?
Okay, yes. I started seeing angels when I was a young girl, and seeing angels while laying under a tree and talking to them. And I also saw, when I was 17 years old, Archangel Michael, and I call him Michael. That's the way you pronounce it in Hebrew, and I'm used to calling him actually Archangel Michael. So I saw him in a window, but my sister and my mother who were with me, they couldn't see him, and we were in the second floor. So he was really big, and he did show up with the blonde hair, but he was wearing white. And then I went to Los Angeles and was working with missionaries, and I was quite a spiritual warrior and did a lot of trying to cleanse places from demonic places. And that is my background. But then I was first I was Christian, and then I went back into Catholicism, and then I went into Christianity again with the missionaries. And then before coming to Austria, because I am from the States, I'm from the United States, born in Texas. Then I ran away to California and that's where I met the missionaries. But then I met my now ex-husband in California, and we moved here to Austria in the 1st of November, 1996. And so I had about 13 beautiful golden years of marriage. And then things started to fall apart. It was very interesting when my South Node returned in my 8th house in Cancer. I was born with South Node in the 8th house in Cancer next to Mars and Mercury. That is when my whole life turned upside down. So until up to then, I was playing a religious Catholic Christian life, and I was extremely involved in the church. But then I was ostracized for healing someone, and I didn't understand why that even happened. And so they ostracized me, and I went through a little depression, and I was asking my friend for some advice because she walked out of the Catholic Church, and she gave me a book. It was esoteric, and I wasn't into that. I was completely Catholic. And it was to call on Ascended Master Kuthumi. It was an Austrian author. It was written in German, and I cannot find the book. But it was lent to me. I gave it back to her. But when I read the book, Ascended Master Kuthumi did come, and I didn't believe in any of that. I didn't even know who he was. I didn't know what chakras were or any esoteric knowledge. I was Catholic. And so I read the book, and in the book, there's a prayer to call upon Ascended Master Kuthumi to activate your chakras. I didn't know what that was. And so I just did the prayer like, yeah, right, whatever. And I just did the prayer. But it was the 1st of November. And that's really interesting because I come here on the 1st of November, and it was on the 1st of November. And at night, we had, it was like 3 o'clock in the morning. I heard this door, the doorknob to the Keller, to the cellar. Sorry, sometimes I think in German, wiggling. And I try to wake up my husband. Hurry, get up. Like there's a burglar in the house. But he wasn't budging. He was not waking. And so I just grabbed his shoe, his house shoe, and I looked all around the house, and all the doors are closed. Everything's locked. Everything's fine. And then I go to the restroom, and then I go into the bathroom, drink some water. And as I'm walking out and I'm under the doorway, I feel a big gush of wind come into the hallway because I lived in a villa. It was a villa. And there's the big crystal chandelier, the baby grand, and there was some room between me and the baby grand piano. And I feel a big being standing in front of me. And then I'm thinking to myself, oh my gosh, this is the being that I called. It came, oh my gosh. And so I was a little getting excited because I always wanted to have some kind of a angelic mystical experience. And the book that I was reading was sitting on the side table in the hallway. I looked to the side and I could feel a telepathic connection that it looked with me. And then I looked back up. I turn around, I go back into the bathroom, and for some strange reason, I look into the mirror and I say while I'm looking in the mirror, look at me, I still look young. I don't, I'm 39 years old at the time. And it's, about 39, it's 2009. And I turn around, and the being followed me into the bathroom, which was Ascended Master Kuthumi, and he was a sphere form. I couldn't see him, but I could hear him, and I could feel it buzzing, like, and then I hear in my head, it is you. And then it was as if he wanted to hug me, but it felt like osmosis, where he just penetrated my heart. And for the very first time, my heart chakra activated. It just went, but it felt like family kind of a feeling, like someone that I knew for a long time just gave me a hug. And my knees started to rock, where I just didn't have any more energy in my knees because that was extremely intense. It felt beautiful, very loving, and I wasn't scared, but it was a shock, I guess, to my nervous system. And so I start to slowly go back to bed, and I was feeling really sleepy, so I just knocked out. And the next thing I know is that I'm in etheric school for the first time. I see Ascended Master Kuthumi. We're sitting around in a campfire kind of a scene, and there are other students there. And he is explaining to us what the root chakra is. And after explaining, I am back on the bed. I'm lying on my stomach, and he is putting his hand on my chakra and activating it. And I could feel it just swirling like. And then the next thing, I'm up again in the etheric school. He's explaining the next chakra. I'm back in the bed, and he activates it. And this continues until the last chakra. And then he tells me, as he's kneeling next to the bed, don't forget, retain the information. And I said out loud, I will retain the information. But I didn't retain what he was explaining. And it took a while for me to be able to remember what I was being taught in etheric school and to bring it into this realm. And so then after that, when I was alone at home, and after my ex-husband now, when he left, and I had a little baby. She was born in December 2008. So now she's about 11 months old. And I'm home taking care of her. And all of a sudden, Ascended Master Kuthumi shows up again in a sphere, and I thought, whoa. And I said, please don't do this thing with my heart again. Like, I don't think I can handle it. And he said, you can't handle it because you need to start loving yourself. You're too much, you're self-sacrificing too much. And so he was teaching me lots of strange ways on how to love myself, like staring in the mirror and say love poems, love songs. I had to look into my eyes, and he was teaching me all sorts of things. And so from then on, he was teaching me and being by my side for 2 straight years. But 1 week after that, I then met Archangel Michael, and I'm part of his, I will just say this, I am part of the blue flame of Archangel Michael, okay? And that's why I'm wearing blue, just to honor him. So he came, and for the first time after this experience, I'm thinking, wow, channeling must be something that I really should look into, because the book was all about channeling Ascended Master Kuthumi, and it was very powerful. So I started looking on YouTube for other channelers, and for the first time I find one where some woman is channeling Archangel Michael. And so then I see from my mind's eye a big hand. I could see it, like it's like I could see another picture. I see a big hand coming out, grabbing my heart chakra. You know? And the one thing that I have learned is that a lot of us who are part of the Archangel Michael Legion, who are here or who have any kind of, from what I'm going to share this, I'm sure it's not very well known. The negative blue ray, or so there are colors that we cannot see, and the higher dimensional colors are what we call here on Earth the negative colors, because we don't see them. And so we who are ascended here, we have activated these through other past lifetimes. And so like the negative blue fire, there are so many different shades of negative blue. And one of them is the ability to repel demons, get rid of demons. But there are so many different levels of negative blue energies, the blue ray. And Archangel Michael is the master. He has mastered all of them. And now he has almost mastered all of the negative red rays from the sun, because he is the solar energy. So we who are here incarnated on the earth, when we connect with him, we feel him in our heart chakra. And a lot of people who feel his energy, sometimes they start crying, because his energy is so powerful that it creates an inner alchemy where we're purging, almost like taking ayahuasca, and we start purging out our energies. And we might have fear, we might freak out, like, whoa, and people might say, back up, I can't handle your energy. And so that's the energy of an archangel, and also Archangel Michael. But if you belong to his blue ray, you feel a sense of family energy. You feel a connectedness, like, I know this entity for eternity, and you feel that connection. And so therefore, a person who has the blue ray flame and who is mastering this will feel him and may react a little differently than the normal person whose soul is not trying to master the blue ray, the different shades of the negative blue ray. So yes, when he grabbed my heart, it just, that was my first time ever meeting him. Even though I did see him when I was little, but I didn't know that I was seeing him. And also in the window, I saw the big angel. So that is my experience. Ascended Master Kuthumi, he activated my chakras, and Archangel Michael, 6 months later, activated my Kundalini. And I didn't know what that was. So what happened is, after I had this experience where Archangel Michael just started to activate, or not activate, he was blissing all my chakras, just boom, boom. It's just bliss, bliss, bliss. And then it went into my brain. And at that time, I don't know what a pineal gland is. And I later learned it is a DMT, organic DMT experience, what happened to me. And so, so my brain is just, it is as if it's the best drug, or better than any drug on this world. And I just popped out of my body. I see Archangel Michael, and then he takes me by the hand. We start soaring through the universe, and we stop, and we come to a place where he just says to me, this is not your real body. This is just it is an illusion. Just as he shows himself a lot looking like this. I will show you a painting of mine. This is how he likes to show himself to me. I painted this.
Yeah,
So
beautiful.
yeah, he loves to show, he loves muscles. And he definitely was looking at the Olympics this year. So he loves the Olympics and watching all of it. Yeah. So he said, this is not our body, let's shed it. And when I shed it, I looked at myself and I see, let me put it down. I'm looking at myself and I see all these diamond sparkly lights, and like I'm looking at my etheric subatomic particles, and so I then look over and I see a big ocean of sparklies, and I asked him, what is that? And he said, that's our angelic soul family, our angelic star family. And he said, do you want to go and breathe them? And I said, yes. And we just dove in, like when a person takes some water and just puts it in the ocean, and it felt like the family were hugging all of my sparklies. All of them were being hugged, and this ecstasy was there, but it felt like family, kind of love beyond. And so it took a long time for me to share that story without crying, because I would get lethargic. So I would get sad or homesick. And so when I came back into my body, and after that for a long time, I did go through the dark night of the soul. And so when I came back into my body, the next day, another crazy experience. So I started to have a fever. My kids, because I have 4 of them, they go off with my husband because he's already wanting a divorce. You don't want to have anything to do with the crazy lady. And so I'm lying in bed, and I'm in the guest bedroom, and because that's now then my new bedroom there. And then I sit up, I'm having an out-of-body experience. So right after Kuthumi activates me, I'm already starting to have lots of out-of-body experiences, a lot of different kinds of things happening to me. So I sit up and I see about 3 Nordic beings, which people call Pleiadians, the blonde hair, and they had these doctor jackets on. And I noticed that I have a tube in my anus, and I'm not into hospitals or any kind of that stuff. And I tried to grab it out, and I'm telling them, no, 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 no. And the blonde lady comes quickly to me, puts her hand on my head, and pushes me back into the bed. And then a few minutes later, I wake up again. I'm on my left side, and I see Master Ascended Master Kuthumi, and he's holding my hand and he's trying to calm me down, and he's telling me they're trying to balance out your Kundalini. I'm like, my what? What's that? I don't know what that is. And so it took me a while to learn what that was. And so then the next thing is I go back under, and then when I wake up again, what happens is everything is shaking, like the lamp is shaking and nothing looks very real, it's fluid. And I pop out of my body because my whole body is shaking, it's just vibrating higher and higher. I pop out of my body. I was feeling really hot, and I'm just floating over my body. And then I see a man, Nordic being, and he rushes to me and he says in Austrian style, which is, oh my, he says, oh, Vaya, and he pushes me back into my body. Then later I wake up again because my family comes home, and I'm trying to stand up and they're all gone. I don't see them anymore. I'm trying to ground myself, and I can't feel the floor. I can't feel it. And so it was strange. And so after that, a few months, I am having lots of fevers, and I'm always seeing Nordic beings and Ascended Master Kuthumi sitting next to me, and they're glowing this gold glow, and they're playing flutes or some strange instruments and some strange guitar look, and they did it to help me to stabilize and balance me because I was having lots of fevers. So that is my spiritual story. You can ask me questions. Oh, and another thing that I want to share, just one little thing. I believe that the reason that all of this suddenly happened was because for 3 years, a friend who was needing money was selling a vitamin drink called Vima. And this vitamin drink had gold and copper and silver and all of these monatomic ingredients in there. And I didn't know. And so I was taking it for quite a while, even while I was pregnant. So then later, 12 years later, my daughter even had her Kundalini experience, and she was very, very connected to the other realm. So because of the fact that she also received this vitamin, so everything was very organic. I didn't try to create Kundalini or anything, and that's probably why I went through all of this experience.
Wow, that is extraordinary and amazing. What I understand is that if you have these experiences suddenly, and that's why it took you a long time to stabilize yourself, your nervous system has to be prepared properly before any Kundalini activations, even chakra activations. So that's the reason probably why this whole thing happened. Such extraordinary experiences, and you don't normally get these kind of experiences unless you are deep in spirituality, and you need to be prepared for such experiences, like preparing your nervous system. Otherwise you can become very unstable. What I understand is some kind of vitamin you were taking that kind of activated certain things within you.
And I also paint, and because I paint, it's a meditative, active meditation.
Okay.
Because I'm not thinking of anything, and so that was another organic. I didn't watch TV. I didn't like watching TV, so my husband would be watching TV, and I would be painting next to him.
Yeah.
At that time.
You mentioned about being kind of kept out of the family or called crazy, and probably all these activations affected or impacted your daily life. So can you talk about that, how they impacted your day-to-day life?
My husband at the time did serve me with divorce papers. So what I learned is, just because you activate your Kundalini doesn't mean that you're on heaven and now it's heaven on earth. No, there's still a lot of work to be done. And so I had 13 years of beautiful golden life. I was basically a trophy wife. I was married to a very rich husband. We had a villa, and I lost everything. So he convinced me that I was crazy and the kids had to stay with him. But I really thought perhaps I was crazy because my mother also had other activations, but she was born with them because she's indigenous. She comes from a tribal nation from the United States. She has Apache blood. And so I inherited some of these activations, yes, and all of the other ancestral karma. So regarding ancestral karma, I went through exactly what my father went through with my mom, losing the kids, being isolated. So it took, because of that, I went into the closet because I lost my Catholic friends, all of them. And I lost my position with a lot of things. I had a very glamorous life with glamorous people, and I lost everything. So I went from being in a big villa to living in a tiny apartment. And so all the rich friends I had, who are you? Yes, it was very difficult. And so I had to start from the first square, being very humbled. And I was religious. I had to get rid of that. I was very prideful. I had airs like I'm somebody. Who do you know who you're talking to? You know, that kind of an attitude. And I was extremely humbled, thrown off my high horse to being poor. But I am living on my Saturn IC line. I didn't know that in astrocartography. So it was like, that was the start of my Saturn energy, living on that, where that is isolation from family and family problems, or I wasn't able to see my kids every day. The first 2 years, yes. But then after that, I was able to see them once a week. Yes, twice a week. I have 4 kids, 2 boys, 2 girls. And so then also in regards to where I work, I'm an English teacher and I work in schools. And some kid wasn't happy with me because I made her write 4 times, "I will be good." And then she was crying to the mother about me. And the mother got me fired. So she looked me up and found my YouTube channel as an astrologer. And at that time I was doing astrology. Now I do inner alchemy astrology. And so I lost my job because I'm a witch. And so a lot of things happened where I kept being persecuted for my abilities, and also even from spiritual friends, where there was not too long ago one who said, "Oh, I'm into spirituality. I'm into spirituality." She invites me to go swimming, and then she sees that the mosquitoes are biting her, but not biting me. And I have aligned myself with the elements, okay, with the water, fire, and all air. And so all I do is telepathically tell the mosquitoes, "Stay away from me." And they don't bite. I don't get bitten by mosquitoes. And so I told her that's what I do. And I thought I was able to share that with her because she was sharing with me all of these types of videos. And then I get invited to her daughter invites us that same day to a grill party, and everyone's getting bitten by mosquitoes. They turn on the light, it's nighttime, and I felt sorry for them. So I created a bubble all around them so that they wouldn't get bitten by mosquitoes. And then I tell my friend, I said to her, well, she was actually my boss from a school. And I tell her, "You notice something?" And she said, "What?" I said, "Look, no one's getting bitten by mosquitoes. You can see there's no mosquitoes around because you could see it in the light in the night, and there was a light shining on us, and all the mosquitoes were gone." And she looked and she said, yeah. And then when we were going back after the party, and we went back to her apartment, and I was walking to my car, and she said to me, Cyndi, I just want to share with you, I'm scared of you. I have to confess, and I'm sorry, but you're not going to continue work with us next. That was in the summer. And so I lost again another job. And so I always feel a little bit like, can I trust you? Can I open up? Even if you say you're spiritual. And I always feel, because when I share to people, I don't want to share with them everything that I have, what I can do, because it freaks people out. But I can speak to the sky. I can make it stop raining. I can make the clouds come, because they hear me, because my Kundalini is activated. I've aligned myself. I've done a lot of inner alchemy. And so the elementals will listen to me. But I tell them, I love you. I honor you. I value you. Can you please stop raining? Because I see now you're creating destruction. And in 5 minutes, the rain stops from real hard rain to it'll just stop. And so when I share this, I can't share this because people get scared of me. They fear me. And that's the same thing how people feel towards angels or so. So I hold back on what I'm able to share to people. And nevertheless, I would love to share with your audience how to get to this level for free. I teach this on my YouTube channel for free.
Yeah, that's true. Actually, there have been many misconceptions, especially about spiritual people all along. And we would not be able to have this kind of podcast also, even probably 10 years back. Now people are waking up and awakening big time across the world. And at least they're being open to the ideas that we can work with the higher intelligence and with the natural forces, and we do have that power within as such. So I'm glad that you are coming out of your spiritual closet for the first time on my podcast and sharing all of these things.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me the opportunity.
It's my pleasure. So, can you tell us a little bit about what Master Kuthumi taught you? I'm very interested in knowing that, because I've heard so much about etheric school of Master Kuthumi, and advanced souls go over there to learn, is what I understand. So, can you talk a little bit about that?
Okay, I'll give you, here's one of the gemstones I really liked that he shared to me. So I was asking him about Egyptology, and I said, why is the scarab, the holy scarab in Egyptology, the dung beetle? You know how? And he said to me, because when poo-poo happens, like when cow dung falls onto the earth, they run to it as opportunity to create life. And that is wisdom from them. If we were to do the same, when poo-poo happens in life, and if we were to do, we were to just take on that perspective as theirs. Hey, this is an opportunity to create something out of it. And so what they do is, they put in eggs, the male and the female, they run to the poo, and then they put an egg inside the poo, create a ball, and then backwards, they roll it into their burrow. And so it is backwards thinking to try to create opportunity out of poo-poo that happens in life. We don't see that. We don't see the opportunity. And so I'll give you, here is an example. So after he told me that, I was able to put it into use. It's interesting. As soon as he shares something with me, he'll throw an opportunity for me to use what he taught me. And so my son, he was maybe 8 years old. He's playing soccer with his friends because he belonged to a soccer team in the village. and he was playing soccer with his teammates during pause at school, and this other little boy runs, grabs the ball from them, and takes off running. And my son and the boys are running after this other little boy with their ball, and my son grabs his t-shirt and it just rips. And I had seen this boy with his brother during a school concert singing the Yellow Submarine, and I thought, oh, I would love to have him as my student, because I sang in the choir and I was taking lots of opera lessons, and so then I thought, this is an opportunity, because my oldest son told me, he's like 2 years older. He said, Mama, you're going to get a call from the principal, from the director, because Crystal did this. This is what happened. And so I thought, oh my gosh, so best that I call the family and apologize, and then give them the opportunity for free singing lessons with me. So that's what I did. But the little boy answered. And so yeah, he answered, and I gave him this opportunity, and he said yes. And then he became my student for 7 years. He was on kitty contest in the Austrian television and on Germany television. I wish I had my stuff here so I can show you, but it will take too long to show you everything. But that was an opportunity that it catapulted my life as a singing teacher while I was still married. And so yeah, I met lots of people, and there were lots of beautiful opportunities. So that's just one example from Ascended Master Kuthumi.
Wow, that's very, very practical and relatable, actually. Yeah, and you are multi-talented, singing, painting, teaching, you're doing a lot of things. Awesome.
Yeah. My sun is next to my Venus in my 7th house in Gemini. So I'm very creative with my hands and my voice.
Amazing. Yeah. So, did Master Kuthumi tell you or teach you about any of the energy changes? You said that he activated your chakras. Any other energy changes? How to work with the energy, especially now that we are ascending as Earth? So, what is your understanding about this entire fifth dimension ascension from Master Kuthumi as well as Archangel Michael? And I know for our viewers, actually, we need to say that Archangel Michael, you call him Archangel Michael.
Mhm.
So it's the same one. So
Yeah.
can you tell us about what are your learnings from Archangel Michael and Master Kuthumi about the ascension that is happening right now? And you also talked about Nordic beings, that is Pleiadians. So if you work with them, then please share their experiences also.
Okay, so Ascended Master Kuthumi was the first person who explained to me that the earth is going to have a split, and he was explaining it to me as cell mitosis, that when the cell is dying, it parts. And he was explaining it to me scientifically, like how a cell goes through mitosis, and so how the dead ones stay on one side, and then it's creating the new ones, and it splits. It's the new, so the old cell dies and the new one continues. So he was trying to explain to me that that was what was going to happen with the earth and the timelines. And so now it's been a while since I've connected so much with Master Kuthumi, Ascend Master Kuthumi, because it was an everyday thing for 2 years. And so now I can't remember everything he taught me back then. It was mostly what was going on with me in my life, and he helping me on my journey. But as for as for Archangel Michael, he is explaining to me a lot, or the angels. He brought to my knowledge the angel angel magic. Okay, it's inner alchemy, and so the inner alchemy. When a person is doing inner alchemy and they're clearing out all the degrees within them, connecting themselves back to the divine, they're able to ascend. So your ascension actually looks like a spiral going upward. Okay. And so they were first explaining to me how to do the inner alchemy, and we can go into that more. But what they were explaining to me is that there are so many different parallel realities and different timelines. So whenever a remote viewer, a channeler, and all of these prophets and people who get dreams, when they receive something, they're receiving it according to their energetic body. So what the angels told them is the truth to their timeline and their energetic body. And so when they share it publicly and all the people are watching, and those people who are resonating with them, oh, I resonate, oh yes, yeah, even if it's negative, but it's tickling their ears, that they will go into that timeline. And so it's very important to look within and not without, and not I have a lot of respect to all of the remote viewers, but a lot of them don't understand this. They don't understand that message is meant for them, even though they think, oh, I have to share it to the world. Yeah, okay, those who are attracted to that are on that level. So like attracts like. And so you will then hear that channeler who is telling you also what your timeline is. But sometimes if you're a little, I'm thinking in German again, curious, and you're looking at a lot of different channelers and remote viewers and what they have to say, you have the choice to say, I resonate with that, or no, thank you, I don't resonate with that. But the thing is that when you do your inner alchemy, and you're going through and you're clearing up all of the subjects that have to do with a Scorpio, like forgiving your exes, forgiving your ex-lovers, your ex-husband, and Capricorn, forgiving all of the people who are the leaders, the world leaders, all of these three-letter agencies releasing it. And I love to use the Ho'oponopono prayer to do that. And when you're doing all of the subjects to release and align yourself to love your younger siblings again and older siblings, you are creating dharma. It's like do you see these little glittery circles? It is like a battery. And so every time you do inner alchemy, it's like you're activating the battery. So when you do that, and then you could do this, or you can connect with the angels. And when you connect with the angels, and after you connect with the angels, well, Archangel Michael said you don't have to wait, but Archangel Michael, in regards to ancient magic and all of these people who were able to ascend, who were in secret societies in the Middle Ages, they knew that Archangel Michael was the one who initiated them. There's a sun initiation. So the way they would do it is first they would do their inner alchemy with the 72, the Kabbalistic, it's the Hebrew, ancient Hebrew angel magic knowledge that goes way far, even beyond King Solomon. which is even, so I can share and talk a lot about that. But after you've done your inner alchemy and you've aligned yourself, you are ready to be bathed by the solar energy. So a lot of people are waiting for something to happen outside of themselves. They're waiting for the solar flash. If there are a lot of people who are doing their inner work and then going to Archangel Michael and saying, I do it in Hebrew because the energy, the words in Hebrew or any indigenous ancient language has a lot of potent creative force. So I tell it to him in Hebrew and I say, please activate me with the sun initiation. And so he'll bathe you, and it hurts even when you're doing the inner alchemy with the angels, because they activate you, and it feels like you're going through an ayahuasca thingy if you have a lot of karma to clean up. Okay, you might get fevers or something like that, but Archangel Michael then is the initiator. So he will start to bathe the solar energy over you. And so this is what the solar flash is going to be for all of humanity. But there needs to be some of us going ahead of the people, because there needs to be us who are putting it into the collective for it to happen. And so that is how, if enough people are doing this and being initiated by Archangel Michael with the sun initiation, we're adding it to the collective, so we are the ones bringing it on for it to happen faster. Some people say, oh, it's going to happen in the year 2024. Oh, it's going to happen in the year 2026. Or some people saying, ET contact for everyone is going to happen. They keep pushing it, keep pushing it, keep pushing it. But you don't have to wait for something to happen outside of you. You do your inner alchemy to speed up your timeline. And this is what Archangel Michael and the Pleiadians are sharing with me. And because I'm doing this work since the springtime, they're telling me, I get audibly, I hear words telling me that soon I will receive physical contact from the heavens. I have the Pleiadians tell me that, and also I can trans channel, and when I'm trans channeling, they will tell me this. But when I trans channel, it's very slow, because they are still trying to teach me to not fear, like my solar plexus. They relax it, and when they bring it to complete relaxation, then it just flows out. So it's like the energy coming out of my solar plexus, and then it talks. And mostly it sounds, Archangel Michael's voice is very low when he speaks through me. And so my higher self has descended into my body. My light body is activated. So I can feel Archangel Michael.
And it's a very, very, very important point that you mentioned, that there are parallel universes, and how we are going to experience these downloads and the solar flashes are up to us. And we need to align ourselves with that timeline, with the inner alchemy. And that is very important. Thank you for watching and listening in wherever you are in the world. As Ramdas says, that we all are just walking each other home. So thank you for co-creating the new earth along with me and our guests. And if you resonate with me, do subscribe to my channel, and do let us know how you find our episodes. Thank you so much. Lots of love.